it's time to fully talk about it. Am I ready? Absolutely not. I'm not. I think I finished Lightbringer like 2 weeks ago, and I needed like time and space to heal. Am I healed? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But yeah, so I just finished everything within the Red Rising series, and not necessarily finished because this is an unfinished series, and Pierce Brown, if you hear me, a Red God announcement would be so nice. So nice. But I genuinely feel like I have just came out of war. And not like I'm out of it. I feel like I'm very much still in this war. And Pierce Brown, I would like to be discharged, okay? Actually, no, I wouldn't. I'm like in it. I need revenge for certain people. I need revenge for my favorite fictional characters, okay? Anyways, let's get into it. I went into this series not really knowing what to expect. Honestly, I just saw that everybody was so obsessed with this series. Like, people literally would not shut up about it. The hype was very aggressive. From what I had seen, people were acting as if this series had rewritten their DNA. I kept putting it off. I had this on my bookshelf for the longest time. I don't know why I kept pushing this off. I honestly feel like, for the most part, I just was never really emotionally ready for it. I'm not sure if I had wanted to dive into it. I wanted to be in the right headspace for when I read it. And I'll just tell you this. I don't think you're ever going to be ready. I don't think I was ever ready to read this series. However, I am still very upset with myself for waiting so long to read it. Don't be like me. So going into this series, all I knew is that it was sci-fi, and I don't really read a lot of sci-fi, to be honest with you, so I was intrigued, but I wasn't really sure what to expect, because the way that people speak about this is very similar to the way that people speak about like high fantasy. But it's dystopian, it's space, there's hierarchy to it. But I have to say, there is something that feels very high fantasy coded to it. This is not a fantasy series by any means, but I think that there are like a lot of parallels that I love from fantasy books that are also woven into this sci-fi series. But honestly, I have never read anything like this before. I feel like a lot of times whenever I read a fantasy book, I'll be like, oh, it reminds me of this. Oh, it reminds me of this. This doesn't remind me of anything. And I feel the way that ACOTAR, Throne of Glass were written, a lot of fantasy books written after that feel like they have very similar, how do I say it, like essence to it, where you could see maybe where authors were inspired by Throne of Glass or ACOTAR. I hope that happens with Red Rising. I hope we get many more series with very similar essences to the Red Rising series. I've never read anything like this, so if anybody has any recommendations, please let me know. The one series where I feel like it could maybe like relate to is the Hierarchy series by James Islington. I'm obsessed with that series. I think Darrow and Viz have a lot of similarities in terms of characters. And also, I wouldn't say that these are similar at all, but I felt very similarly while reading it. Like, how do I explain this? Like, when I was reading it, I felt, it's a feeling, okay? There's nothing like contextual to it. It's just a feeling, and that's the Poppy War trilogy, where when I was reading the Poppy War trilogy, a lot of the same emotions that I was feeling and passion I was feeling while reading it was very similar to how I was feeling reading Red Rising. And the Poppy War trilogy is like one of my favorites. Actually, I don't want to say that. Like, I don't want to pick my favorite children, you know what I mean? But people really were not kidding. People were not joking when they say there's before you read Red Rising and there's after you read Red Rising. Like, that is a very correct statement. Because the Red Rising effect is so real. Because listen, here's how this goes for me. Red Rising, the first book. I'm going to be honest with you. I liked it, I didn't love it. When I first started reading it, I was like, okay, this is really well written, but it's just like another Trials with an overarching goal. Good, cool, great. No, this book laid the groundwork, because then I picked up Golden Sun. And this is when things got disrespectful. Yeah. Because suddenly I'm like, okay, this is giving, in a way it's giving Game of Thrones, because the things that I love the most about Game of Thrones is that there's epic betrayals. We are losing main characters left and right. And I'm not going to say like I love that about this book, but I am going to say that is what makes series amazing, because the stakes are very high, the stakes are very real. The ending of this book, I was like, okay, yeah, no, this is phenomenal. Pierce Brown is that guy. And then Morningstar. Yeah. Again, Pierce Brown does something at the end of this book. I don't want to give spoilers, but it's, in a sense, it's kind of like a perspective shift. It's the best way I can describe it without spoiling it. And I haven't been shocked by a book or like fully impressed by an author's ability to like wow me in such a long time. This had my jaw on the floor. I was in full panic for a very long time. I honestly almost closed this book for a minute because I was in sheer panic. I was like, I can't continue reading this. I'm so over this. I'm so pissed off. I was actually like so pissed. And then you keep reading and it's like, you can kind of breathe, but amazing. This was a perfect trilogy. This trilogy was, why is this not going okay? I'm okay, guys, it's fine. This trilogy was absolute perfection. There's nothing I would change about this series. And now we need to talk about the sequel series that isn't finished yet. I am genuinely so mad at myself for reading this without, at the very least, having an announcement for Red God, because I don't know how to move on from this book. But I went into Iron Gold, and I'm not gonna lie to you, there is a huge tonal shift. It took me a minute to get used to. It's multiple POVs. There's a new cast of characters that we're kind of getting to know better. It took me a minute to like these characters because I feel like I was always so used to being in Darrow's head, and I realized how much I love being in Darrow's POV because you just like root for Darrow more than the other characters. You really do. So it did just take me a minute, but still good nonetheless. Dark Age. So this book, very much, the title of this book very much represents this book because our favorite characters are simply in an age of darkness. There is not a whole lot good things going on. The amount of hope that is in this book is slim to none. So this one was really hard to read. And then if I thought Dark Age was hard to read, Lightbringer. What the actual... Lightbringer, if there's one way I could describe Lightbringer, it is a story about friendship and fighting for your friends, and it's about honor. I'll tell you this, after finishing this book, I've never been so heartbroken and angry at the same time. Like, I am ready to fight. Put me in this war. I need to get revenge on my favorite fictional characters. Insane. So I'll tell you this. The first trilogy, I don't want to say it's fun, but I want to say, like, this story is like about rebellion, fighting for what's right, fighting for what's good. And the rebellion has got a lot of momentum to it. You have obstacles, we lose a lot of people, but overall it feels like the momentum is going really well for our favorite people. The second series, things are not going well. We are losing people left and right. You thought that we were losing main characters in the original trilogy. We are losing main characters in the sequel series. And even with that, it's not like they sacrificed themselves for the greater good and then putting everybody in a better position. No. They're in an awful position as it was, and now they're in a worse position as it is. So, just like be prepared for having absolutely no hope in the world while reading this book. These books. So, Pierce Brown, hey, can we please announce Red God? That'd be amazing. Thank you. Bye.